harm to the horse with any continued work, obviously.
Not a minute, no. Come on, it's for education.
Okay, you can see this gray horse coming here. Attitude's a little different compared to these other horses. He's not really as willing to move forward. He's hanging his head a little bit lower, obviously showing a little more signs of tiredness than the other representatives earlier. So he's still got his blanket on to conserve heat. Horse is going to stand here for the heart rate for the initial veterinary exam. So I can hear the veterinarian asking some questions about how long the horse has been in off trail, which would be important to know how quickly his heart rate recovered to the initial pulse of 60 to come into the vet check. So now the veterinarian's asking about how the horse typically recovers from exercise at this point in the ride. You can see though, she's got a little lower head carriage now. She's raising up and looking around, but got a little more tired look to her eye. If you notice that she's got a lot of sweat there on her shoulder. I believe the veterinarian is going to retain the card and re-examine the horse at a later point. You can tell as the horse moves off, she's not really willing to move forward. A little draggy in the hind end on both rear limbs and not willing to move forward. And I just overheard the rider's groom indicate that the horse did want to stop several times on the trail. Just stop her there and let me feel her muscles. When I palpate him, really cannot feel any localized firmness, so it's just either very deep or more likely generalized. You're waiting for her to urinate, which right, and we'll want to see that. Just grab you a coffee cup, a styrofoam cup or something, and catch that urine.
Sure.
Do catch some so you can, in case we're not around, we can see it. So if her urine's discolored, we may consider fluid therapy, right? Usually we do consider fluid therapy.
It just wasn't her day.
Yeah, well.
But she's going to be okay.
Yes, she should be fine. So the horse that we had looked at earlier, the gray mare that had a mild episode of myositis on clinical exam, at least, has come back in the trailer to the base camp, and the owner has caught a sample of urine, and unfortunately the degree of myoglobinuria is much more severe than her clinical signs. So you can see how dark that urine is. Dark as kind of coffee there, and a very small amount. This horse was certainly not dehydrated when it presented to the first veterinary checkpoint, and that's why fluids weren't started initially at that time, but it was very important to continue to monitor the horse. So this is the point, the importance of catching a urine sample early from these horses so that we can distinguish those severe cases from mild cases and address their fluid therapy aggressively early on to prevent renal damage. I hope what I've showed you today gets you excited about the sport of endurance and the opportunity to be a control veterinarian. As a veterinarian in endurance competitions, you'll get to see more normal and abnormal equine exercise physiology than you may experience in years of practice. In addition to a great learning experience, this sport provides us the opportunity to work with other veterinarians around the country. We hope to see you at an endurance ride soon.